Okay, so we've done the entire screen. All we have is this tab bar at the bottom, and it'd probably be a little bit overkill to go through and create all these tabs and take a long time. So I'm just going to pick one, and we're just going to do this medical ID icon out here on the right. And I'm only doing this because I want to show you how I would go about creating this. And there's, like I said, a ton of different ways you can do a ton of different things in Photoshop. So let's just go ahead and create this little like rescue symbol, I don't know, medical ID icon really quickly. Oops. And I'm going to just hide from my reference layer, and I'm going to just zoom in here, and we're going to make this, let's just randomly do this in here somewhere. And the first thing I'm going to do is create one of those little edges. And I'm going to grab my rectangle marquee tool. Actually, no, I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw out a shape. And I'm going to make this shape really small. I'm going to do 29 pixels in height. So I did mine 3 pixels in width by 29 pixels in height. And I'm going to zoom in even further. I'm going to go into 1600 so we can, well, if we go into 3200 we can see exact pixels. So let's just go all the way in. And from here I'm going to do another shape. And I'm just going to draw this, and you can see how it'll add on here. We can see right in here. I'm going to do 3 pixels in height this time, but I'm just going to go over only 9 pixels. And then I'm going to repeat this step going down. So I'm going to come down here to 29 pixels with 3 pixels in width. And we've just essentially created one of those little edges on the icon that we're going to be making. Well, instead of doing that every single time, we can just go ahead and let's merge all 3 of these rectangles. And we can just merge these shapes. So we now have just one, and I'm just going to call this top. So we can just duplicate this and start dragging it around. So I'm just going to hit Control or Command J for top. It's going to create a copy of this. And I want to rotate this. So if you notice with that top copy selected, if we hover right over here on one of the corners, you'll get these double arrows that are kind of curved. Well, let's just hold that and drag down. And if you do it around 60%, which is what we want, and hit shift, it's just going to automatically go to 60%. The same with 50 or 45%, and the same with 90. So hold shift and make sure you're on 60%. And I'm just going to grab my move tool. I'm going to apply that change, and I'm simply just going to drag this little edge right here so it's touching this edge, and we can come back and get pixel perfect and delete these little pixels if we want. But for now that's fine, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm just going to copy that. So Control or Command J, copy that, and I'm going to rotate this one down as well. This time we're going to do 60 degrees again. So hold shift, and I'm going to grab my move tool, apply the move, and let's drag this down and make sure it's touching this edge. And there we go. Alright, so instead of doing that over and over again, I have these sides right here. Well, I can just move that to the left side, and I'm going to zoom out once. To do that, let's grab the 2 layers we just created, this top copy 2 and this top copy 1, and I'm just going to hold shift and grab them both. Right click, and I'm going to merge these 2 shapes together so that now they are one shape. And let's go ahead and duplicate this shape instead. So I'm going to hit Control or Command J. And now if we grab this center square here with our layer selected, we can hold shift and drag this layer all the way out here and create the exact opposite. So just let it go anywhere. It doesn't matter, because we could come up here and we're just going to type in -100% for the width and select our move tool, apply the transformation, and while holding shift, drag this out and make sure it is lined up nice and perfectly. That's fine. We obviously need to do the same for this top shape. So let's just grab the top layer, and we're going to copy it or duplicate it. And I'm just going to drag this top layer all the way down to get the opposite. And I'm going to make sure that my height this time is -100%, and it is. Let's grab the move tool, apply, drag right on down here, and there we go. Now obviously, let's go up a little bit. Now obviously we got some pixels in here, so what you could do is grab your eraser. We're zoomed in so far that you could honestly, just use our eraser. At first I want to grab all of these layers, so top all the way to top copy 3, and I'm going to put these into one shape. So I'm going to merge the shapes, call this, I'm just going to call it star just because it looks like a star. I know it's not. Alright, and then I'm going to go to layer, rasterize, and I'm going to rasterize this shape. Now with my eraser tool selected out here, I'm going to change this down to 1 pixel. We're going to be using a 1 pixel eraser, and I'm just going to nice and steady come in here and erase any stray pixels that we have. Alright, and I'm getting straight lines here, so you can come in and do this stuff and get really precise. Look at that. Now I don't have any fading here, so we're going to get truly pixel perfect stuff here. I'm just going to do it so this is the same on the side. Alright, so we can zoom out here. Let's go ahead and change this to give this whole thing a color overlay. Let's give it a nice lightish gray. Select OK, and let's see how this looks. I'm just going to grab this star, drag it next to this one. Wow, so pretty spot on actually. If we click the color overlay and select this color, we're almost exactly, I want to pull this over here and see. Yeah, so pretty amazing there. That's how I would go about recreating that, and it looks pretty good. It looks the exact same, and we were just zoomed in at 3200%. So never in a million years would you be able to tell the difference in these two. And we went in there, we made it pretty pixel perfect. So that's how I'd go about recreating these icons. And you can use your shapes and your different tools that I've given you, and the different strategies we've used to accomplish different stuff. So if you want to, go ahead, recreate this tab bar, do all of these. I actually encourage it. I think it's great to practice, and mimicry is the ultimate form of mimicry in Photoshop is the ultimate form of learning, I guess I was trying to say, in my opinion. Copying stuff and recreating stuff, just going through the steps and recreating apps that already exist really gives you a great understanding of how to use all the different tools, and that's the preferred way that I like to learn. So good job. We're pretty much done with this app, but you all who stuck through it did a great job, and you just made something really cool.